Hello, and welcome to Founder Freedom, From Hustler to CEO, the podcast built for e-commerce entrepreneurs who are ready to work less, earn more, and scale smarter. We explore the stories of visionary entrepreneurs, inventors, and change makers who are reshaping industries with innovation and passion. Today, we have an inspiring guest who's transforming the home improvement and window coverings industry for over 3 decades. Steve Tristan, a visionary entrepreneur, digital marketing expert, and driving force behind the brands of JT Blinds and Best Custom Screens. With over 33 years of experience, Steve has built multiple successful businesses serving homeowners, apartment buildings, and contractors with high-quality window coverings, screens, and installation services. But Steve's expertise does not stop there. He's also a passionate content writer, creator, running Steve Tristan's Best on YouTube, where he shares valuable how-to videos, industry insights, and hands-on tutorials for DIY enthusiasts and professionals alike. In today's episode, we're going to explore Steve's entrepreneurial journey, the evolution of digital marketing in the home improvement space, and his take on staying ahead in a rapidly changing industry. Plus, we'll hear how his business skyrocketed through the pandemic, his approach to online marketplaces, and even a fun twist, his upcoming role in a faith-based film. Get ready for an engaging conversation filled with wisdom, business strategies, and a peek into what's next for Steve. Let's dive in. Welcome, Steve.
Hello. Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm blessed. Awesome. Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about the value prop for Best Custom Screens? I think that's the brand we want to talk about today, right?
Sure. Best Custom Screens is a supplier of window screens, screen doors, as well as window coverings nationwide. We developed the website, I'm going to say about 9 or 10 years ago. And at first it wasn't taken off too much. It was more of the apartment buildings that we're selling to. We're buying window screens. It was an option for us to sell online. But as you mentioned, we really took off during COVID. I had a little vision of what was going to happen in the future, and all of a sudden the COVID hit and we just exploded. So it was,
nice.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
Sometimes, almost every time, timing is everything.
For sure. Yeah.
Which is funny, but people don't plan for that usually.
They don't, yeah. And actually it was unexpected, but I could say I followed God's will and just went with it.
Nice. So what inspired you to create the Best Custom Screens brand, Steve?
Two reasons, actually. One was an apartment building who we were already selling blinds to, because back then all we did was sold blinds and shutters, et cetera, window coverings. And we fell into the window screens because this one apartment building was the largest building in the nation. And they were doing hundreds of window screens, but they were very unique. They had these wicket doors on them. They were the old crank windows, and they didn't have a supplier that could make them and in a timely manner. And so they came to me and said, "Steve, you do such a great job with our vertical blinds. We're wondering if you can make these." I'm like, "Well, sure." I basically found the supplier and said, "Hey, can you guys help us?" And they helped train us how to make screens. And we kind of created this product for them. And they're the ones who put us into the screening business, was actually solving their problem. They had a problem. We actually improved upon the product as well. And then the second step to that was we actually wanted to get into selling sliding screen doors, not just to apartments, but online. And selling them online, we had to be able to ship them nationwide. And we needed to create a packaging system that would make it their one piece, because most all companies were selling what they call a KD kit or knockdown kit. Right. And that would be, you'd have to assemble it, put it together. We wanted to sell a fully assembled screen door all over the country and ship it, And so we were able to do that. We created, actually, IKEA gave me an idea when I was putting together furniture one time for my wife and putting together furniture. And I saw the stability of this bookshelf after putting that backing on it. It's like, you know what if we did this in our packaging? Get a frame, put the cardboard on it, figure out and somehow either screw it down or nail it down and see what happens. And we tested it and it got really strong, really stable. Same concept in a lot of the handyman as well as the contractors could understand this. Same concept is when you have a wall and you frame a wall, say a freestanding wall, and when the 2x4s are there, the wall kind of, can sway back and forth a little. Once you put drywall on and screw it, it gets solid. So it's the same thing in packaging. Right. And so we were the first to do it. Our competitors, a couple of them, not all of them, but a couple of them copied our exact first model that we did. And we've improved upon it since then. So if you want the best packaging, still come to bestcustomscreens.com.
Thus the name Best.
Yes, for sure.
So the packaging was like the gap in the marketplace that you saw
Yes.
as an opportunity to springboard into e-commerce sales.
Yes, it was. And that was the beginning, and it grew. This was prior to COVID. And then when COVID hit, actually, what it did is I'm a man of faith, so, and traditional values. And I was disturbed that churches were closed during the beginning of COVID, especially. I was like,
Mm,
"Hey, what is going on here?" So and having the YouTube channel, I went and if you could find it on our YouTube channel, I prayed on Good Friday for everybody to have peace and get through this and everything else. And I wasn't promoting the business in any way. I was just praying because it was Good Friday. And that weekend, Easter weekend, our website blew up 500%. And then by the next month, it was 1,000% growth. Where do you hear
wow.
those numbers? Yeah, I was like,
Wow.
so God was in our corner. I mean, it was just like, yes, Lord, thank you.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic. So just for the listeners here in relation to you solving that gap in the market. So what was the existing way of doing business in buying screens in general that was broken and inefficient that you solved to?
Well, if they did attempt to ship a screen door, including a low-cost economy sliding screen door, all those screen companies around would just wrap it in cardboard. And there's no stability to that. And these frames, if you've
Mm-hmm.
ever seen a screen door, the economy ones that are sold in apartment buildings, for example, if a grown man tries to walk through that screen door, it's going to bend right in the middle and it's going to break.
Right.
It's economy. It's a low cost screen door. And, and these go in, most of them they cannot go in like UPS or FedEx ground. It has to go freight,
Right.
some sort of freight. So those big trucks have pallets going in them. And so you have a screen door there, pallet goes right up against it, it's done, it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
So this strong box withstands, some of the worst attempts of damaging it. So
Right.
yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's not 100%, obviously. I mean, if a car gets in a wreck, it's still going to get in a wreck. I mean, if I've seen times where we've seen big packages from their warehouses with a forklift wheels running over it. I mean, that's a
sign that
that,
something
that
went.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was nothing that anybody did except that guy on the forklift.
Right. Right. So
So
yeah, I can see what you're saying.
yeah,
So you've really kind of licked the problem of shipping an oversized package, at least
correct. Yeah,
in the screen door
yes.
niche.
hmm
So answer me this question. This is a good question. So what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about what your company does when they're looking at your website?
One is they think we're Amazon, which we're not. These are all
Hmm.
custom made, custom window screens and screen doors. It takes a little time for a factory, to make them.
Right.
So the lead time, they might place an order and expect it tomorrow. It states right on our website though. It's generally 10 business days in the
Hmm.
factory, and that's one thing. I think the second thing is more along the lines of installation. There's a other company out there that does screens in front of your house. They make them right there in front of your house.
Mm,
And that type of service comes with a premium. I mean, that type of service, you're paying for that trailer, that truck, that guy
right.
to be there. And this isn't. The way that we sell our products is lower costing, quality products, quality screens and blinds. So being able to add an installation service is something that we have always done locally, but we don't do that nationwide. So we
Right.
get a call from somebody in New York. They're like, "Hey, can you come over and measure?" Like, yeah, no, because I'm in Los Angeles. We have areas also in Las Vegas that do installation service, but not in all the other areas. So they might get confused
Right.
with that. So yeah, that kind of rolls into probably a future question you have for me. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's a really good I guess issues to realize and to talk to people about, right? Because
yes,
we
yeah,
are in a 48-hour prime world. There's no question
oh
about
yeah,
that.
for sure, yeah,
And
yeah,
and the expectation of some of those buyer profiles is should not be carried over into custom work, right? They just don't
yeah.
realize
Agreed.
that, right?
I remember going to a Lazy Boy, and they told me that the lead time was 12 to 18 weeks
Yeah,
for a chair. I was like,
yeah.
what?
How about giving us a success story, either from a customer or a mission standpoint for best custom screens?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, can you share like a success story of a customer or company that saw a big win because of your solution?
Big win. These are consumers, so homeowners generally. I'm going to say that the bigger wins are from either the bigger contractors that we're working with, interior designers, and when they order an entire building of our products, that's where I see a big win is. I mean, they call us and they're like, the quality that comes from you guys is just amazing compared to what we used to get. We get thanks for that all the time on that level because of the fact that they're actually getting them two in one piece.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the quality of everything is always dwindling.
Yeah.
And I think in building products for sure, I've noticed the pandemic had a huge strain on that supply chain.
Yes.
So now it's even worse. You go into a big box store and it's like they got nothing on the shelves.
It's true.
A whole bunch of
I did
nothing.
a video about the 8-foot sliding screen door in Home Depot or Lowe's.
Mm.
Going in there, I walked into the stores looking for them. One of the stores didn't have any inventory.
Hmm.
The other store didn't have not even regular short screen doors. The other one had inventory, but they both did not have an 8-foot sliding screen door.
Hmm.
And none of the stores nationwide do. And most homes these days in areas like California, Phoenix, Vegas, Florida, Texas, they're all making homes with 8-foot sliding glass doors,
Hmm.
as well as 8-foot regular doors. And you cannot buy those sizes from them.
Right.
And so we had another solution there with the 8-foot door. And in going in there, even coming back out of there, I could say, I mean, I think I was quoted somewhere around $800 if they wanted to order one from the manufacturer that makes their products. That's staggering. I mean, at the
Right.
time, you could buy a door from us for $149.99,
Hmm.
which was a lot less. So yeah,
Right. A lot easier on the pocketbook.
definitely.
That's amazing. I mean, that is a big kudos when contractors and designers are thanking you for delivering high quality.
Yes.
I love it. That's a great story. Big picture wise, what do you think? Are there any trends in your industry looking ahead in the future?
There are more on the window covering side than the screening side. We just started. Okay, there's one that had started with Shark Tank, and it was a company by the name of Flex Screen that's already been set, and we brought that on our line. We're able to offer a flex screen on our website and sell it. It's innovative for sure, and it's unique. Not everybody in the industry necessarily likes it, but it's definitely unique, and it's got a lot of marketing, and it's a good product. Secondly, the other innovation I want to say is going to be an automation for window coverings or even screening for patios, like roll downs, or garage screens. In solar screens that roll down, even interior window shades that roll up and down. The automation is big. Everybody wants everything automated to go up and down. Use a remote. I'll give you an example. Right now, we're actually in Los Angeles. We are installing an apartment building. It's around 350 units, and it's 1,000 roller shades. 900 of them approximately are the standard cordless roller shades go up and down. About 100 of them on the whole entire first floor are motorized. They're automated. So, and it's because those are, I guess you could say, they call them live work units, and that first floor is like storefronts, and the person would live on the second floor. So, and it's a great option for having that extra look and automation, as well as having it easy for them to use with the remote or even with your mobile app.
Right.
You can lift your shades up and down. So
right.
That's huge. That continues to grow and expand, and so it's an amazing product.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen the remote control window blinds. They're not like popular at the home store level, but if you're ordering custom, you see it a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty cool. So also looking ahead for other business owners that are listening today, do you have any advice about potholes for them, maybe within your industry or maybe just within e-commerce marketing in general? Some really good advice for other entrepreneurs.
Okay, don't get overwhelmed. You don't try to do everything either. I mean, that's a huge mistake, right? I did it for years. You try to do everything and you don't delegate, and it just doesn't work. At that point, you're working as an owner, not an entrepreneur, not a business owner. It's you're doing the work. That's not just that's not running a business. That's letting the business run you.
Right.
Yeah. I think that one thing that I've discovered that has helped me the most is you need to have order and structure first. And that applies not just in business, but in your life. So having order and structure is extremely important. It's different for everybody, but once you have order, then you can have peace. And then once you have peace, you can have success.
Nice.
And actually, I've quoted that from somebody I've learned from it. Don't say it's Steve Tristan's creation. I study a lot of different people, a lot of things. There's actually a guy on a Catholic radio station called, his name's Dave Durand. He's a Catholic business coach. And I learned that from him, but then I went to my church and I said, okay, as the priest, how can you help me? What can I do? And he gave me, some books to read. And now I have a different kind of planner, and I'm structuring things a lot differently than I used to before. And it completely changed my life.
Yeah. Making yourself better.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what entrepreneurs do. That's a very good advice for folks. I love it. So what's next for your companies?
One is helping people, supporting them within our network of people or installers, for example.
Mm-hmm.
We are working closely with them. Many installers are not paid hourly. They make good money doing piecework.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're in a region, they get a territory and they will install both window coverings and screens for us. They will do really well, but a lot of them don't know how to market themselves. A lot of them don't know how to keep themselves organized and management and things like that. So as they grow, they need help. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for them. I personally help these people to grow. And so what we're looking to do is to take the business model that we have and for the installations, not for the online business, but for the installations,
Mm-hmm.
and duplicate it in other markets. So we from LA, we started in Las Vegas. Our next stop is Phoenix. And then we would just keep expanding from there. I think that will help tremendously. I have other things in my head that I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't have the time because I have to focus on my businesses as well as a family and my life and everything that I need to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I've got four kids, but three are adults and one's a teenager, three girls and one boy. And so even in our lives, it's still the number one focus is our family always. Obviously, number one focus is always God first, but then my wife and then our family, and the business unfortunately is last, but that's what supports us. So I've got to make it a priority either way,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's tough to go through all that and make sure that you can get through life and all that. So, I mean, people can get so, like you say, overwhelmed, right? With,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Oh, this is happening. This person said this. That, like, you just don't worry about any of that. You just have to
Right.
focus first on him, and then you're home, and then you'll have peace. And having, like I said, having peace in order, order first, then peace. That's it.
I
So
like it. You're helping me. You're helping me today for sure.
at the very least, I'm glad that I can help you. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
So
you. So
yeah.
how can our listeners get in touch with you and your businesses? What's the best channels or websites where you want
Well,
them to check you out?
if you're looking for any of the products, it's bestcustomscreens.com. You could reach me by email. I actually monitor this email, bestcustomscreens@gmail.com. You could also check us out on YouTube at Steve Tristan's Best. That's where all the how-to and DIY videos are, as well as any talks I might have, etc. Also, you mentioned in your intro about the movie that I was going to be in.
Yes.
We shot that movie on Saturday. I had a full beard and I shaved it on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That was awesome. It's about St. Paul. It's about the life of St. Paul, and it's based on the Acts of the Apostles. Arcia is the person who is producing and writing the movie. I believe it's coming out in 2026, so look out for that.
Okay.
I play an angry Pharisee who was converted to Christianity alongside three other Pharisees, and we're arguing with Peter and Paul, James and John on the table, explaining that Paul's wanting us to have these other people in the church where they shouldn't, which is, and so it's like, yeah, but I say something like, but they eat pork. Yeah, and it's like, I'm arguing with Peter. Just imagine, arguing with the first pope. It's just
Right.
insane. And then, after I turn and look at the guys next to me and said, we're leaving. And the guy in the end says, I'm staying. And I'm like, get out of my way. And I yelled it. It was fun. Because I was like this
That's
angry
awesome.
old dude. And I was the oldest guy there. So it was kind of funny. My beard
That's
is all
cool.
black. So it's funny. Yeah.
That sounds like you had a great time.
It was, yeah. Yeah. It was a good time.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Founder Freedom. Steve Tristan is the embodiment of the mission of our podcast here, leading with purpose and transforming industries. He definitely is fitting that bill.
Awesome. Thank you.
Check out JT Blinds and Best Custom Screens. Whether you're helping homeowners with installations, coaching pros on YouTube, or stepping into a movie set for your faith-based film, Steve shows us what it means to evolve, serve, and lead. If you're inspired by Steve's story and want to follow his journey, check out stevetristan.com and bestcustomscreens.com to dive deeper into his world of business, content, and community. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're an e-commerce entrepreneur ready to work less, earn more, and scale smarter, be sure to subscribe for more stories like this one. And until next time, keep building your freedom.